Welcome to BP Leadership Podcast, where real leaders are made. I'm your host, Bill Purvis, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you today. And I've got a guest that I know you're going to enjoy. Before I do, though, let me encourage you to do me a favor. Would you hit that subscribe button? And that won't cost you a dime. It's free, but it helps us stay connected. So if you would, go ahead now and hit subscribe, and then let's get started with our guest. My guest today is a dear friend and an incredible leader. His name is Scott Pratt. Scott is the vice president and the owner of Papa John's Pizzas. He's got over 25 stores in his franchise alone. He's won all kind of awards for what he's done as far as being one of the best franchises in the entire country. Scott knows leadership. He knows how to take a small, nothing business in a neighborhood where they're just beginning and blow it up so that everybody notices him. Now, he's got a lot of leadership traits to share. Today, the lesson we're going to talk about will be finding major success in a few core values, just a few things that he'll tell you to do right, and you'll get the big return on. He's had some humble beginnings there at Papa John's. I mean, starting from the very bottom. He's going to share the secret to his success and the importance of defining who you are and your own values. I promise you, this is going to be a broadcast you're going to want to tell your friends about. So let's get started with my friend today, Scott Pratt. What got you in the business you're in right now?
I'm a vice president and owner of Papa John's, and I was in high school playing soccer looking for a part-time job.
Right.
And I met my boss sitting on a paint bucket building his first location, and he noticed that I'd worked at Dinglewood Pharmacy. He was a former pharmaceutical sales rep, so he hired me immediately, and I went door hanging, door to door, because he didn't have any inside jobs for me. He had already hired his staff, so I went door hanging, and the first day somebody didn't show up to work, and he hired me inside, and then that worked out to be, I always work hard, and that worked out to be for about a year. Graduated high school, went to college, got my degree at Columbus State, first graduating class at Columbus State in 96. Turned down 4 promotions because I was like, I'm going to get my business degree. I'm going to go in the Air Force. I'm going to get my business degree. I'm going to go in the Air Force. That's what my grandfather did. And then when I graduated college, Susan became pregnant, and there was an opportunity to go run a market in Augusta, Georgia that was losing money. And he goes, look, we've got about 6 months worth of cash flow. They're losing $10,000, $15,000 a month. We need this to turn around. If you can't make it work in 6 months. And so I was like, you know what? Let me try it.
Yeah.
And we were blessed, and I made some good decisions, and I worked my tail off and made profit month 3, and turned it around, and it's now a powerhouse for us.
How about that?
And we we had 4 stores that were averaging about $10,000 when I got there. And year 1 we had doing 12. Year 2 we had 5 doing 14. Year 3 we had 6 doing 18.
How about that?
And was making very good money when I left and went to Knoxville, and worked for my boss behind his desk, learning how to do leases and insurance and just running the business, learning the business.
Yeah.
And then my boss came down here and decided I was noticing they had really good people. They just didn't have the leadership they needed to take it to the next level. And I kept telling him on my visits, but we were a brand that was growing. So we didn't have to do advertising, or we could just open our doors and we would grow 4-6%. We were just in one of those growth periods. And I kept telling my boss, we're not meeting our potential, but we have good people. And so I would come down about every 3 or 4 months, do a market evaluation, give him my notes, and he goes, it can't be that bad, Scott. We're still growing. I'm like, okay, so we used to do, we do about every 3 or 4 years now, we do poinsettias to our best customers. We would give a poinsettia and a Christmas card.
Okay.
And I was like, boss man, why don't you just go down there without me at Christmas time? And because it's our busy season too. And I was like, you go down there and you check it out. He goes, okay. I got 6 phone calls in about 6 hours. Yeah. I was like, well, that was in my report in May, Doug.
Yeah, he saw it.
That was in my report in August.
Yep.
That was in my report in October. And he got home. As soon as he got home, gave me a call. He goes, you want to move back to Columbus? And I'm like, do you need me to move back to Columbus? Because, we were enjoying living, away. We had we were away from family.
Right.
Building our family. Loved Knoxville. My wife really loved Knoxville.
I bet. That's a beautiful city.
It is. And I said, if it's what we need, it's what we need. And then we moved here in 2003. And that's when we came here first,
right,
as a church,
right,
and we spent 6 months because it was home. I mean, we immediately fell in love, but we were like, okay, we really need to vet it out because this is going to be our church home.
Yeah.
So everything was compared to Cascade, and nothing.
How about
nothing even came close.
I didn't know that.
Nothing ever came close.
Wow.
And so then after about 4 or 6 months of looking, we came here and fell in love. And
how about that? Now,
and so I've been running this market since 2003. We continue to grow. We grew 2 locations in the last couple of years. So we have 10 area locations.
Okay.
In Columbus, Phoenix City, Valley, and LaGrange.
Wow.
We have 10 locations in Augusta. And when I started, we had 4 back in 96.
So we grew a total of what?
And then we have 5 in Montgomery we acquired.
Wow.
And so we have 25 in our franchise.
Wow.
And we were, I got here in 2003. We won Franchisee of the Year award in 2005 in Columbus. And we won Franchisee of the Year award in 2017 in Montgomery, which is best franchise in the country.
How about that?
Pretty cool.
For a
little old Southern boy. Pretty cool.
Isn't that cool? That is.
The little Papa John's.
Yeah.
So we work hard and try to do the right thing.
Yeah, and you started from what I love about it, Scott, is you start from the very bottom, so you get to see all of the.
I've worked.
You know what's behind all the doors. You know?
Yeah, I do everything from advertising to sweeping the floor, all in the same day.
Wow. Now, what's the hardest part about running a business? If the things that take more of your time where you say, oh.
Getting my staff to really buy into the vision and strategy.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I kind of can see where we're going before the company sees it.
Right.
And I'm preparing to go that route.
Yeah.
And getting them to go, really? You really want us to do that now?
Yeah.
And then they come to me in 3-6 months and go, yeah, you were right.
Uh-huh.
We should have fallen in love. That to me, that's kind of the hardest thing. I mean, we've got great people.
Yeah.
But, sometimes it takes more than just one meeting or one visit to get them to just commit. Just commit. I'll take the loss.
Yeah.
But if not, then we'll all celebrate the win.
That's it. I hear that story, Scott, from more leaders or presidents or CEOs or owners of a business that if they can – that they say, I'm running at one pace, and their fear is having too big of a gap between them and their employees. And they say, if I can get my employees to get up with me some, I'm able then to really meet the market or the demand. The business will grow if I can keep them growing.
Correct.
And so that's really one of the biggest challenges. And it's kind of like herding cats, isn't it? Just when you think you're on track, all of a sudden something goes off the wheels.
I tell everybody, we're a restaurant, but we're a double-edged sword because – we're not only a restaurant, we have to deliver. Yeah. And I think that you're finding, as you see Uber Eats and Grubhub and DoorDash, they're finding that it's very hard to make money delivering. Yeah. It is extremely expensive. It is extremely risky. It is because every time a driver goes out, you run the risk of them getting in an accident or killing someone. And so insurance is expensive, delivering is expensive, and it's a logistical nightmare. Wow. And not many people get in the delivery business because it's so hard. Yeah. So not only do we have to make great food for you to be ready to be picked up, we have that extra just pain in the butt of delivering and being on time.
Yeah, so. I would think that to me, you just wonder sometimes, I look back and say, well, the profit has to be in the volume because you're taking
it's not the prices.
Yeah, that's right. Your prices are so low. I'm saying, how in the world
can you in the prices.
Crank a car, drive it over, deliver that,
correct,
pay an employee and all that, and still make a profit?
Wages and insurances are not going down.
Yeah,
and so it's all by volume.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Correct.
And so the higher volume you get, the more you can breathe.
And like with the delivery business, it's harder for the competitors. So if you really don't have good people and good staff, it's really easy to mess up or get behind. Just for instance, Super Bowl, it'll be 200% of a normal day. When it rains, it's an immediate 15 to 20% increase in sales. Yeah, just from rain.
Yeah,
and so if you're not ready for it and you're not prepared, you get behind, your staff gets stressed, customers get frustrated because we're in this Chick-fil-A and now. Yeah. Let's go.
That's right.
It's the service side that's the really hard part.
And that's what's really helped. Even Chick-fil-A and some of those others, and all of y'all have stepped up, like especially with Papa John's, but it's others keep setting the bar higher. And so it either forces you to get better or get out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, now that's cool. So I hadn't thought about that, about even rainy days and things like that. There's certain times you can project in advance.
And then there's certain times you can't.
Yeah, I know.
Like when it snows.
Yeah, but if you're prepared for it, the beauty is that I can meet that need.
Well, I think our secret to success is just we try to really, I would say, spoil our employees to the point where when we need them to step up, they just step up. Like when it snows and all the competitors are closed and we're the only ones open up on Milgen Road or Veterans Parkway. And well, we can't deliver, but we're here. You know, I've got managers walking to work.
Yeah.
I had a manager that lives in Phoenix City that runs Veterans. He goes, look, I can't make it to Veterans, but I can go open up in Phoenix City, and I've got a master key.
Right.
And the general manager in Phoenix City she lived too far away, so I had other managers volunteering, working at other locations.
How about
when
that?
it snowed a couple years ago, and we just make it work.
Those are good employees.
Isn't that cool? So
yeah,
it's just we take care of them daily, so that when it really comes to fruition and we need them, they're there for us.
Now, how do you mentioned about rewarding? How do you reward some of your employees? What are the things that they need most that you find that people appreciate the most from a boss?
It used to be money, but now as they're getting older with time off and family, we don't have a sick day policy. So if they get sick, they just take off.
Yeah.
If they have a family emergencies, they just take off, and we just get them covered. We have an extra administrative person that's my assistant that helps me cover them. So I try to maintain, because 50 hours a week for them in the restaurant business, that's high stress and high energy and high endurance. I try to make sure that they are on they're not getting burned out. It's very easy for them to burn out. So if they do have some hard weeks, we come in and relieve some. You know what? Yeah. You put in a couple of hard weeks, and we'll just walk in and go, you're off today. Go enjoy the day with your family. See you later. Bye. Yeah. And so that extra time off for them now, years ago, it wasn't that good.
That's
years ago, it was like, I want the cash, boss man. Give me another bonus.
That's right.
And now it's more of, you're going to give me a day off?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
See you later. Bye.
Yeah. We found the same thing. We did. We used to do the same thing, and now it's exactly like that, Scott. We a while back let some of the employees off during a time that we said, okay, you can take off right now because they'd worked real hard. And of all things, we got more comments and feedback that thank you, I needed that, I wanted that. And we said, geez, that nothing had to shut down, and that was what they needed.
It's just the shift. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about it. Now, when the business you do right now, though, you've got, like, say, competitors. I mean, you got some major ones out there.
Correct.
So y'all really have to stay on the edge with that.
Well, the good news about our brand is nothing comes from outside. Okay. So we maintain, because we have better ingredients, better pizza. The company, we don't even buy local onions, local green peppers, local tomatoes. Everything comes from our commissary 2 days a week, so that we can maintain consistency and quality. Okay. So if there is a problem, I don't have to deal with it. Yeah. If there's something that's contaminated. Right. Nothing. I don't have to go to Winn-Dixie or Publix. Yeah. Nope. I called Papa John's International. They come in and investigate it. And thank goodness we've never had that, because we have gold standard for our suppliers that we really spend in upwards of over $50 million as a brand, probably, with making sure that we stay in that better. And we think that there is a market for better and clean, and we try to that's our values. Yeah. So, and that's really one of that's one of the big things that sets you apart. Correct. Yeah. And that's the big thing I think in business is going to make it. What sets you apart? That's what set John in the early days say, I will never ever go from our values of quality. Yeah. That's one of his values at Papa John's. So your customer service, and then the fact that you got quality ingredients. Yeah. So those are two of the big things. John's values were focus, accountability, superiority, people are priority one always, attitude, and constant improvement. How about that? They called them Fast Pack. Those were the core values. How cool. And our franchise core values are people, teamwork, quality, and leadership. So we have a little bit different set of core values than the company. We adhere to the companies, but as our franchise, we wanted to make our own set of core values. Yeah, yeah. And BPL taught us that. Yeah. And so how about that? When 2003, when you had your core values lesson. Right. It's important to have a business core values. It's important to have your personal core values. Right. I was never taught that. Yeah. And so I went back to my boss and said, hey, we don't have core values. And he goes, you're right, we don't.
Yeah.
We should think about that.
Yeah.
And so that our core values came from BPL.
How about that? And that's really, the truth is, we know this, that's what keeps you, the boundaries for you. It bonds you. It puts everybody pretty much on one page.
It does.
And if somebody gets off, at least you can point to something and say, here's where we're off. And,
it made it very easy when you have to go in and reprimand or discipline or unfortunately terminate.
Yeah.
We go in and I take that one sheet of paper and I set it on the desk and I go, okay, which value are we talking about? Because ultimately in every decision you broke a value.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here.
Right.
And it made it very easy and straightforward.
Yeah.
And so that people understand that it was just a value.
Yeah.
We never ever sacrifice the values at any time.
All right, now let me ask you this. With all the different franchises you have different managers of each one.
Correct.
Are there some that you just know that manager is good? I mean, you put them there and and what sets them apart? What is it makes them different from some that are maybe struggling?
They have a value of excellence.
Right.
That's one. They trust me more. The ones that not that I'm this genius or anything, but the ones that really catch on and I can tell them once, hey, here's what you got to do. Here's the thing, because I've been doing this for 28 years and I've made the mistakes.
Right.
If you do these 5 things over this next month and these 5 things over the next year, this will get you to where you need to be. The ones that just start running hard with those things always supersede. And when we're looking at our year and we're evaluating our P&Ls and all this, the leadership, they're always at the top. So
they stay teachable.
They stay teachable.
Yeah.
And
hungry.
Humble, hungry heart. The 3 H's.
That's right.
That Brent taught at BPL.
That's right.
If you're humble, hungry, and you got heart. So
yeah, I could see that. That would and if you could get the others to model those, it helped them.
Correct.
I think that thing about being teachable is so key, because there are certain people that you could almost put them in any field and they're going to rise. And it's not just a job. It's not just, come to work and hope they send me a check. It's it's on me, but I'm going to pull my weight.
Correct.
And there's some people like that. Now, isn't it one of the basketball players owns a lot of them out west, isn't it? Was it Magic or somebody who?
Well, we have Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay,
who
Shaquille.
is
That's
our
right. Shaq
he's on the board of directors.
Okay,
and he owns part of 8 locations in the Atlanta area.
Okay,
and he is one of our brand ambassadors. So we have Shaq. We had Peyton Manning. We've had celebrity endorsements.
That's right.
But we're going through a CEO change. John is stepping back. He's getting older, and he's made his hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's time for him to just take a back seat. And so we've got a new CEO, we've got a new board, we've got and that we've got new products coming, that are going to be, really fun for the brand over the next 18 months.
Right.
And I'm excited to see where our brand can go over the next 18 months.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: is John, and maybe a dumb question, but was John the founder?
John started Papa John's in 1984 out of a broom closet. Sold his Camaro in order to get a dough mixer and a pizza oven, and started it in the back of Luke's Pub. And he turned that one location into over 5,000.
Now,
and ended up buying the Camaro 20 years later for $250,000. He found his original Camaro that he sold, and it was the guy made it a race car, and he ended up buying it back and putting it in headquarters as kind of like a
a reminder of that moment
of his roots.
How cool is that?
Very cool.
Now, from what area was he from?
He was from just outside of Kentucky, but Jeffersonville, Kentucky. It's just like a suburb of Louisville.
Is that where they started the first store?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he started with one, and then realized after about 6 months, I'm doing the same volume as Domino's, and they've been here for 15 years.
Yeah.
I've got something here.
Yeah.
And then he opened up 3 and 4, and then realized, I can't grow this fast enough. I need to franchise it. I need to get some people around me that are smarter than me to build this thing.
Right.
And then if you have a good product, if you can get good people to run it, it'll take off. And then the franchising began, and we started, like I said earlier in the 90s, we could open our doors and be at 8 or 10% growth every year just because we were the new kid on the block. We considered we were the best pizza in town. So if we just serviced it properly, we can grow.
How cool. And so did he name it Papa John's from the start?
Yes.
Okay.
He had that. He was in college, and he came up with the logo. And in college, he quit because he was like, "I'm not a school guy. He's super hyper focused.
Yeah.
Pizza was his love.
Right.
His uncle's bar was failing, so he went into the bar to try to rescue it and started, doing hamburgers. And it was a pool hall.
Right.
And it was never really his love. He turned it around, and as soon as he was able to turn it around and get somebody to manage it, he busted out the broom closet and made his first Papa John's and started selling pizzas in the back. And within a few months, he already grew out of the broom closet and had to buy some real estate to build his store.
How about that? What a success story.
It's a really great entrepreneurial.
Yeah. All right, now, what are the things you've learned being around him or learning from him or being a part of that environment?
His tenacity of always quality.
Okay.
He never – he is – how can I say? He is a madman when it comes to quality. Like if it's just – a minute infraction, it does not pass his standards. He will not go. It's not tolerable.
Yeah,
and it's what made us the quality company.
Yeah,
it really has. He really did something special. All the way down to he would visit suppliers every year. He would go to Spain for the pepperoncinis and black olives, and he would tour all of our suppliers.
Wow.
Several times a year, unannounced, just shows up on his jet and makes sure he'd go open and go, okay, I want to make sure that this meets my quality standard before they get shipped to our restaurants. He was just, and that he never wavered from it.
Yeah, you can see now that's cool. I love the fact that he started off right from the beginning and didn't change or exchange that value.
Right.
And now it's all the way through the company, and it shows success.
He'll always be our founder.
Right.
And he grew it to a point, and he did marvelous things with our brand. But in order for us to take it to the next level, we need some people that just think differently.
Yeah, that's right.
You can only get it to a point, and then you just got to step back and go, I've done all I can. It's a tech. 60% of our business is online.
Yeah.
60%. We don't, no phone calls. It's all app-based web. And so a guy like John who's in his 50s, he doesn't, a phone. I don't need a phone. Yeah, you do need a phone, and you need a computer. Or 60% of your sales are gone.
I get it.
So it takes a different type of thinking to grow a digital business.
It does. And there's kind of I look at it kind of like there's the pioneers, the people who blazed the trail.
Correct.
I was kind of that way with BPL and Cascade. I fought the battles and blazed the trail and cleared the path. But there came a time that I said, okay, for the next level and for the age group and the millennial, it's time to pass that baton. So I passed that on to Brent, and it's been good for me because I've watched them create new ideas and new methods and new strategies. And so I guess that's what you're doing there. Same thing is bringing some fresh blood that's connecting with this generation and how they respond, receive, and get information.
We're trying to, and they're all brand new. It's a new board, new CEO, new CMO. But John's always, it's Papa John's. It's not like we're going to change the name or anything. So it's always going to be Papa John's.
And as long as the new guys will maintain that quality and those values,
correct.
I think there'll probably never be a hiccup.
He'll always be our founder. He'll always be John. So it's just time to try to see where the brand can go, because we're the small player on the block. Domino's.
Who's number 1, 2, and all that?
Well, Domino's is number 1 now. Right. They just surpassed Pizza Hut. I think they have over 16,000 locations worldwide.
Okay.
We only have 5,000.
Okay.
So we're nowhere near where we can be.
Yeah. So that gives y'all growth potential, though.
Huge growth potential. Yeah. So and we're growing more internationally than we are domestically, but. We're innovating. We're testing the waters. So I think the future's bright for Papa John's and as far as growth potential.
Yeah.
But what I like to hear is when you think of Columbus, Georgia, and our markets, Papa John's is the number 1
That's
brand.
Right.
Well, see, that's not the case everywhere. That's just our hard work of trying to be the number 1 brand in the city. We're really on an international level, we're a small player. Domino's, Pizza Hut, and Little Caesars have more volume and more locations than we do. So we're still pretty small when you talk about the global economy.
Yeah, but that's kind of like the difference though between that Avis and Hertz. When Avis said they knew that Hertz was bigger, they just said we don't knock Hertz. We just try harder.
Right.
And it suddenly swung your affections over to Avis. You say, here are people that are trying their best to get in there.
I want to own the town. That's my goal. Local owner, local operator.
Yeah.
The whole 9 yards.
And if every one of your franchise owners gets that mentality, what a difference that will make.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
When they decide, I don't have to worry about conquering the world, but let me conquer this city.
Grassroots.
Yes,
sir.
That's right. That's the part that I think, that it would be fun for me in that way. If I was running one of them, just to look around and say, how can I be the best here, and can I be the guy that everybody, when they get hungry and think about pizza, they're calling me. And,
correct. That's the ultimate goal.
Now, do you keep an eye sometimes on your competitors to see what they're doing, what they have an edge? Is there any advantage?
Weekly.
Yeah.
100%. Weekly.
Yeah, I get it.
I look at their websites. I look at their specials. I look at new products. And if they have a new product, I go order it immediately.
Yeah.
What are they doing? Why are they doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I study them very hard.
That's smart.
Yes.
They used to say Sam Walton used to stroll through Walmart. I mean, not Walmart, Kmart. They said he would stroll through Kmart once a week. And they knew. They used to say, why is this guy? That was when he was real small, and Kmart was the dominant one.
Right.
And they'd say, here comes Mr. Walton in his overalls and parked his truck out front. But now you look at Walmart and Sam's, but he was
learning.
Yeah, they said he'd walk down every aisle, pick up items, and may not buy a thing, but he was He was mentally taking note.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So and I think that's the smartest thing. He's going to school on their shot.
Correct.
Yeah, that's all right. Now let me ask you: when you and I came together, how long have we been together? What's it? Just his friend and pastor and all that.
2003, so 17 years.
How about that? I remember when I first saw you. I saw the potential. I saw where you were going. I saw you in the business, and over the years, it's like every year I'd look back, Scott, and you've grown again. And I look back, he's grown again, and now I'm saying, good night. How many stores does he have, and what he's doing? And you just consistently you found the pattern and just kept consistently doing that.
I was just following your lead with BPL. I mean, it's taught me and the company so much with the values and just the lessons. I mean, we're moving right now, and I've got 2 huge boxes of CDs and of BPL stuff that we're moving, that we're going to have to reorganize and position. It's been invaluable. It's definitely taken us to the next level. For
Good.
Sure.
That's what I want to know, is what value BPL has been to you and what you learned from it and what you recommend to people.
I have my core values because of it. I've learned how to run better meetings. I've learned how to handle customers better. Mm-hmm. We came up with a customer service metrics where if you have a complaining customer, mm-hmm. you need to just have a blast. BLAST. Mm-hmm. Believe, listen, apologize, solve, and thank.
Yeah.
So if you take every customer that is giving you grief and you use the blast method that we learned through studying through BPL, believe, listen, apologize, mm-hmm. solve, and thank, in that order. So when a customer calls, believe they're telling you the truth. Then listen. After you don't make them say, "Are you still there?" Just listen. That's all they want you to do. Is they want you to, when they're complaining, they want you to, and then after you listen, apologize. Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry. And then after you say you're sorry, solve the problem. Just solve it. Because if it gets to me, I tell my managers, if a complaining customer gets to me, they're going to get free things. So I don't care if we were right. They're getting to me, you didn't handle them. So solve the problem and then thank them for their business.
Oh, I like it.
So we have a blast with our customers.
That is cool. That is a great way to solve problems. You're right.
Correct. So we learned all that stuff. And there's, I'm sure, dozens of other things I'm not thinking about that we learned through BPL to make our business better.
And that's, of course, that's been the whole goal of BPL all along, is to help business people at whatever level, just to continue sharpening their skills. They already have the skills. We're not giving them anything they really don't have. All we do is just sharpening what they've got and clarifying and sometimes validating for people. They have an instinct that they know this is how I ought to lead. And when you're able to say, here's a good principle to live by, a lot of times they say, okay, I was on the right track. And so my belief has always been with BPL is that most of people like you would have got there without us because you had the hunger. You was going to find a way. We were the fortunate one to be there at the right time, that we merged, and it made it easier on you to not to go find somebody else, and it was a blessing.
I wasn't studying leadership before you. It was more of just, I guess, hard work and talent. I got Maximum Impact,
right,
and then I got BPL, and then I started reading more and studying more, and that was I was just continuously feeding.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the leadership material before BPL, and that's really catapulted us to where. So I'm making decisions and I'm doing things. And I'm like, oh wow, I learned that in BPL a couple of years ago. That's cool. And so I just kind of take it back and go that. But it's try to stay grounded and just.
Yeah, and that's one thing. And even on your faith side, I mean, you've got a lot of people think, well, if you're going to run a business, you really stay away from God and you just run the business and come to God on the weekends. But you understand God's part of your whole life.
My mission field is my business.
Yeah,
100%.
Yes,
and that's. I mean, I'd say north of 90% of our business is they're lost.
Yeah,
and so anytime I can get an opportunity, I charge hard.
Yeah.
Jesus came to seek and save.
Yeah.
And so I do, whenever I have an opportunity, I make sure that I try to seek and save.
Yeah.
And don't miss that opportunity.
That's what I've noticed about you, Scott. Your faith, and that's the encouragement to people that are in business. Because I know people that think somehow I got to sell out, or their only goal is I just want to make money, or they start to get successful as you've already achieved, but they start to get successful and then they forget God. And I think the message you've had has been, look, I know what worked. Line up with God.
My mom was divorced. We didn't have a lot of money. Sometimes we would eat dinner without meat. It was, it was very, it was humbling, but It was, it taught me to always, if you work hard and you stay true to yourself, and, I still can't believe I wake up and I'm like, I have all this. I got a great family. I've got a great job. I have a great career. I never take it for granted.
Yeah.
And I just try to, just wake up, work hard, kick butt, and repeat.
Right. That's right. That's it.
That's kind of the way. That's kind of our motto. Wake up, work hard, kick butt, repeat.
That's right.
So,
and let me ask you, because I always feel this about you with your business. I meet some people with a business and they're not really growing as much as and they should have made decisions to, but they feel overwhelmed, and you see them, they're just tired and they don't know quite what to do, but it's just work. Every time I've met you, Scott, even if it's a difficult season or it may be bad weather and it's not necessarily the height of where you're going, you're always passionate about what you're doing. You seem to love it. And that's tell me about your passion for it, your love for it.
Sometimes I get in trouble with my wife because I'm too passionate and she has to dial me down a little bit because I'll work all the time,
right?
Because I just love what I do. But I'm a people guy. It's part of my core values. I like to have fun. I have fun at work.
Right.
It's one of my core values at work. So I'm always having fun.
Yeah.
And so if you're not having fun, I think you should change careers. I couldn't imagine going to work. And just not having fun. It's my first core value at work is. You got to have fun. If you're not having fun, and I've lost a couple of good people, but I'm like, if you don't come to work and you just don't love this, it's going to beat you up, tear you apart, and you're going to be gone if you don't have fun. And so that's the first thing that when I'm looking for managers is just how if you're not having fun, you got to find something else. Because at the end of the day, I want people that work for me to have fun and be happy. Because those are the best employees.
That's right. That's right. To enjoy what they do, the people they get to serve.
Because it's a grind. Restaurants are hard.
Yeah, and I guess if you don't enjoy it, it won't take long before it will kill you.
It will beat you down. And there's rough days, there's rough weeks, of course. But for the most part, I still love what I do.
Yeah.
And we're looking at growing Papa John's. Our family's looking at a possible other concept to bring to Columbus. That's a restaurant concept. I mean, so I always try to, stay active and continue to grow.
Yeah.
If you're not growing, somebody else is. Somebody smart taught me that.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, that's what keeps you in the game. And that's and that's been the part what I've enjoyed. And I really believe you're just midway. You've done so well, but you've still got so much capacity left. I believe that there'll be a day that you're going to look back and you're going to say, good night. I never dreamed I'd be from there to here. And I think God's going to give you even a bigger platform just because of the faithfulness. And that's that deal about you do what you can with what you have where you are. And he's not going to leave you where you are, and he'll increase what you have.
Sir.
And so,
one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah, I see that in you. I promise you. There's some people I look at and I can say, man, they've done good, and bless their heart, that's about as far as they'll go. And then there are other people I look at and say, good night. That right there, they just got on the track.
Correct.
You remind me, and I say this to you in blessing, and I hope you can receive it. I look at you like a secretariat, that horse that rode with the rest of them. But
what an honor. Thank you,
you're
sir.
finding your stride. And I promise you, there's going to be a day that Scott Pratt's going to be so far out there that you're going to be just in the wind, and you're going to love it. And so,
well, let's just hope I'm well done, my good and faithful servant.
Yeah.
That's what that's the ultimate end prize.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. What would you say to somebody who's just starting their business, and you mentioned that a moment ago, but about putting the Lord first, putting their family in right order, and what's the priorities on that?
Well, what's worked for me, because I've had job opportunities all over the country, because I'm a part of the Franchise Advisory Council.
Yeah.
So at Papa John's, there's 14 franchisees that are picked out that we represent the other 800 franchisees. We go up to Louisville 4 times a year.
Wow.
And we speak. And I'm the tech advisory chair. Mm-hmm. So I'm the chair of the whole country. I'm the chair. I'm in charge of getting our IT structure right.
Yeah, that's the big level. To be at that table is an honor.
It's extreme honor, and I was chosen a couple of years ago from our peers to represent the franchise community.
Yeah.
But I've always found, because I've had opportunities to run 50-store markets and 100-store markets, and I've always said, okay, I always prayed about it first,
right,
and then asked God for wisdom and where He wants to lead, and then I make sure that it's right for the family. And if it's not right with the family, and if it's not right, then I would rather grow slow and grow correctly than to, I guess what you would say, outkick my coverage and do it the wrong way. And so I've given up a lot. So I would say, make sure you stay in your lane and stay grounded. And if you walk with the Lord, He will not make a mistake.
Yeah,
you will be fine.
Yeah, that's right.
You might question, what in the world are you doing?
Yeah, you don't know where He's taking you.
Correct.
Yeah.
I had a personal moment about 6 months ago. If you would have asked me, if we would have done this 6 months ago, I would have told you, Pastor, I'm going to be debt free in 6 months. I'm about to pay off my house.
Right.
Well, now I just signed a new mortgage because it wasn't my plan.
Yeah.
My plan was to be debt free.
Right.
It was God's plan to work out the way we have for our family. Yeah. And my family couldn't be happier.
Right.
I'm not as passionate about Brent as debt, but I don't like debt. I don't have any personal debt. But I signed a nice mortgage, and our family's coming together, and we're going to have lots of cool memories. And it wasn't my plan to. But I look back at it. If I hadn't have been listening and I hadn't have been open to change, and this would have never happened. And so I just thank God. I woke up this morning going, man, God, I'm so thankful, because where my head was 6 months ago, and where I look at it right now, and the projects that are going on, and the smiling faces on my family, and I get to be a part of this and get to help. I'm so blessed and so thankful for that. I know it's cool. It's really cool,
and it's much like, I think you're taking in a family member that's outside that, and a lot of people can't afford that or don't have that opportunity. And I love that you're just opening your heart and making the moves and making the next step.
And it doesn't hurt that I married my best friend, high school sweetheart. We're celebrating our 25th anniversary this year.
How about that?
So
y'all make a great couple too.
I outkick my coverage for sure, 100%.
Your wife is as good as they come.
She's
Susan
golden.
Is fabulous.
Yep.
And that brings me to ask you this question. You got a son named Austin.
Correct.
And Austin dealt with autism, and our grandson, Brent's son, Elijah, has autism. And we had one couple that we knew, but they had one child with autism and 2 children with Asperger's, so it was real severe. And our grandson wasn't that severe, but we had this big overwhelming fear, like, where are we going to go from here? What's the future going to look like? You were the greatest encouragement when we saw you and saw the way that you raised Austin and how he turned out, and how that you and Susan just handled him so well. And that young man right now he greets people at BPL. He's sometimes an usher at the church, and just a fabulous young guy.
I'm so proud of him.
Yes.
You never know what God has in store, and we learned real quickly when we got the diagnosis, and we were in Tennessee, that it was before nobody really knew.
How old was he then?
4.
Okay. Now, were there any signs before that?
I think he was. Susan might correct me, but I'm pretty sure he was around 4 years old. But we could see signs very early because my daughter, who's 18 months was doing younger. Amber's younger. She was doing things he wasn't even doing already. So as far as the speech and stuff, and so we got the diagnosis early at UT. When we moved here, we just started working. We realized, okay, we constantly were looking, how can he have a career? What can he do? And so we immediately realized, okay, he can be high social, might not be as aptitude where it needs to be, but if you don't have social, it's going to be really hard to be in this world. And we focused on, I taught him in Sunday school every week for the entire time he was in Real Kids.
How about
we got him, really involved with the middle school and high school, and we put him on every baseball and football team that we could find.
I love it.
And I always went to the coach and I explained our situation, and I said, look, this kid is special. This kid's going to change your life.
Yeah.
I need you to work with him, and I need you to make him.
Yeah.
In high school, the quarterbacks and the stars always took him under their wing. In baseball, the star pitchers always. He was the most loved kid. Yeah. And when they reciprocated that, it helped build his social, it helped build his confidence, it helped build him into the Austin that you see today that can greet at BPL.
Yes.
That's really kind of uncomfortable for him, but we were able to work through that, and who now helps me with VIP in the parking lot.
I know.
So
wow,
it was a work in progress, but now we're able to see the.
And y'all really, in a lot of ways,
lots of prayers too, Bill.
I know,
lots of prayers.
Well, I know it because even with Elijah, our grandson, it's just challenged because you're engaged 24/7 because you don't want them to hurt themselves.
Every time Brent goes up and preaches and has a story about Elijah, Susan and I will look at each other and we're like, well, we've been there, done that.
I know.
About 10 times. We've been there. It's just funny because we just look and smile at each other now and go, yep, we've been there.
And
we've got that story.
And at the time that Austin was diagnosed, it wasn't as known what autism was. So y'all really had to figure your way through it.
We were fighting through school systems and trying to get him the help he needed. And he needs occupational therapy. He needs speech therapy. We need this. We need inclusion with the schools. And so it was a definite uphill battle that I give all credit to Susan because she was working with the church and loved working for the church, but then had to take a step back to fight for his education and stay involved and just stay because – I mean, it's not like they didn't. It was not no malice of Muskogee County. They just didn't know what they were dealing with back then.
Yeah, that's right.
It wasn't as prevalent for sure.
So you had to do so much of your own research, almost like be your own doctor in some ways.
It's a part-time job.
Yeah.
If not full-time.
Yeah. But you know what I love about that? She never gave up. You never gave up. You saw in that boy something that you said, I don't care. I'm not letting him fall through the cracks. And I commend you. That was – of all the jobs you've done, as far, you've done great in the faith world, you've done great in the business world, but what you did right there.
Well, that's a credit to Susan because I worked a lot. I was the nights and weekends. Yeah, and I was there, but it's mommy is the one that did that hard work.
Well, she sure deserves a crown for it.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, because and he is
one
her
for that, one for dealing with me, one for that.
That's right. But I'm always reminded of Nehemiah when he was working and building a wall, and some of his critics came up and they wanted to get him distracted and off course, and they said, "Why don't you come down and let's dialogue?" And he said, "No, I'm doing a great work and I cannot come down." And I feel that's what y'all have done, and that's what Susan definitely did during that time. She was saying, "I'm doing a great work and I can't come down." And now you look at Austin, you realize that paid off. That was the trade-off that paid off.
Sure was. And I don't know what our future holds. Maybe it's Papa John's. Maybe it's whatever we're going to do. We're going to work hard. We're going to have fun, and we're just going to follow the Lord.
All right, well, I hope you enjoyed Bill's conversation with his guest, Scott Pratt. And if you would like to stay up to date and in the loop on all the other amazing content that we've got with the BP Leadership Podcast, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Whatever podcast platform you're listening on, or if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. And if you're on YouTube, hit the bell so that you can get notified whenever we release our newest episodes. Also, if this is the first time you've heard of us, the first episode you've listened to or watched, make sure you check us out on our channel, our main channel, BP Leadership Podcast, so that you can see all the other amazing content we have released to you all. You will not regret it, so make sure you check it out, BP Leadership Podcast, or you can go to our website, bpleadership.com, for all kinds of information on what we do here with this company. We're glad you guys tuned in. We'll see you next time, and as always, remember that this is where real leaders are made.